we have reached the end of my summer, and I wanted to thank you all. This summer has been one of the funnest and coolest summers I've ever had. One, I finally started gaining subscribers and views on the channel. I hit 300 subscribers, going to G-Fest, and even making some new friends along the way. Sadly, videos are most definitely gonna slow down. This video got delayed, but I tried my hardest to deliver quality edited videos to you guys every Friday. Now that that's out of the way, I also wanted to show that I have some friends that wanted to work on the video. So these are the beams that they're going to be talking about in the video by order. First, we have Baby Boogie Films, who will be doing Showa Godzilla. Then we got CJ Kaiju Productions, who will be doing Heisei Godzilla. Unlike the others, he actually wrote the script. It's 5 minutes long, so we'll see how that goes. Then we have Starzilla, who's doing Godzilla 2000. And then finally, we have the Gorosaurus dude, who's doing Godzilla Final Wars. I forgot to add this, but we also have Cool Godzilla doing, what was he doing? Doing GMK, I forgot to add that, so yeah. Now that that's out of the way, let's actually get to the video. Godzilla, one of the biggest characters in fiction, but one of the most known things about the character is his beam, but fans know it as the heat ray or the atomic breath. But what exactly is the atomic breath? Most people think of it as a fire breath, but is it really? Well, there's multiple versions of it, and sometimes they're different in each continuity. So I thought, let's go over each one and their different capabilities. Here are the Godzillas we'll be going over today. First is Godzilla 1954, Showa Godzilla, which is the rest of the Showa era, Heisei Godzilla, which is just base form, Godzilla 2000, the one from Godzilla 2000, GMK Godzilla, from Godzilla Mothra King Ghidorah, All Monsters Out Attack, Kiryu Saga Godzilla, who's from Against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS, Final Wars Godzilla, who's from Final Wars, Shin Godzilla, who's from Shin Godzilla, Godzilla Earth from the Godzilla anime trilogy on Netflix, Legendary Godzilla, but he's basically, we're going over each form, so that includes G14, G19, plus G21, they're basically the same, and Evolved Goji. Then we have Ultimate Godzilla, and finally Godzilla -1. Now, I know I might have missed a few Godzillas, but we're going over the ones that all have at least some different variety of the atomic breath. We're not going over Hanna-Barbera or the 1998 movie or even Marvel Godzilla just because I don't want to, or it's because they're not really atomic breath. Now that's out of the way, let's actually get to the Godzillas. The first Godzilla from the first movie. This atomic breath is actually called the incandescent. I can't really read it. And instead of being a focused beam, it takes the form of a white vapor and is able to spread across cities easily, and is incredibly hot, capable of destroying ships and boiling water, and capable of hitting temperatures of 500,000 degrees Celsius or 900,032 degrees Fahrenheit, which is way past boiling temperatures, and it's even able to melt metal, shown in this clip I'm showing on screen if I remember to edit it. For this Godzilla, I got Baby Boogie Films to read it, because, you know, there's 14 Godzillas we're going over. Anyway, here's Boogie, who's reading Showa Godzilla.
Now it's time for one of the weakest atomic breaths of Godzilla, being able to bend to hit his targets. But first, let's go over the history of this atomic breath. It was used in the film King Kong vs. Godzilla, to Terror of Mechagodzilla. First one, this one's called Incandescent Light, but takes a difference from this one. It has more of a focused and trained beam that is not spilling all over the place. This time it's blue, and it has the ability to curve, to hit its targets. This is an obvious error from Toho. During filming, it was hard to know exactly where to place your actors for them to get hit by the beam, so it makes sense that this would happen. But I give my boy Showa Godzilla a cool and unique ability.
So I decided that for this one, I was going to let one of my friends, CJ Kaiju Productions, do this one, as in his spare time he actually power scales. And one of them he loves power scaling is the boy Heisei Godzilla. So I decided to let him write and voice act it. He sent me back. It's 5 minutes long. We're gonna see what he yaps about.
Yes, hello. It is I, an actually competent power scaler. Anyways, feel free to boo me in the chat how much and however you like. But today we're going to discuss Heisei Godzilla's beam and what it is and what makes it special. Now, throughout both the films and several novelizations, it's constantly described as a beam of pure light, or not pure light, but light, you know what I'm saying, and also described as being made of pure radiation. That's what I meant to say. Now, since radiation travels at the speed of light, that's exactly what radiation is. These sources do line up especially well. Now, Heisei Godzilla's beam is a little special because it is the only Godzilla beam to burn at 500,000 degrees Celsius, except for the original Godzilla's incandescent light, which does have some statements saying that it reaches about 1,000,000 degrees Celsius, but those are a little loose, so we're not going to count those here. Now, Heisei Godzilla's beam being a beam of light is supported by the fact that several times throughout his films it is reflected back at him, where it be the diamond mirror from the Super X2 or the diamond coating and G-Crusher, but not G-Crusher, plasma beam of Space Godzilla. I meant to say Mecha Godzilla, my mistake. And now, unlike past incarnations of Godzilla, where his beam was more of a fog or a light mist that would go in a straight direction, like Showa Godzilla, his beam was also described to be a beam of light, but it's not portrayed in the same way as Heisei Godzilla's. And that is because of one simple thing, and that is because Heisei Godzilla's beam is stated multiple times to be a both wider and stronger version of Showa Godzilla's beam. Now, what this does is it means it is more effective, and we can tell this as, for instance, in his fight with Batra, Godzilla shooting his atomic breath and, of course, slamming Batra into the ground several times was able to cut open the entire planet. So his beam is very powerful by default. But of course, what about the Spiral Ray? Well, Spiral Heat Ray, first appearing in 1991, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, showed up as his standard atomic breath, but wrapped in electricity and a little bit of purple in there, because why not? And this was just a more potent version of his atomic breath, being able to cut through King Ghidorah, where his regular atomic breath couldn't, but then could after that, for some reason, I don't know. Then, of course, Fire Rodan killed himself and gave Godzilla his power, and then he got the Uranium Heat Ray, which is essentially just the Spiral Heat Ray, but better, and it's red. So, that is very good, yes, very good, red ray. Yes, that's what we're going to go with. And this atomic breath, this Spiral Heat Ray, it was so powerful and so hot that it did burn at 1,000,000 degrees Celsius, and was also so powerful that Heisei Godzilla's mere presence alone was able to ignite the atmosphere, and as such that set the standard for the Spiral Heat Ray. Now, as the films went on, the Spiral Heat Ray did decrease a little bit in temperature, but the amount of destruction it caused stayed relatively the same, being able to one-shot Space Godzilla and being able to do heavy damage to Destroyer with varying success, but Destroyer's a beast, so we can't really put him down for that. And finally, we have the infinite Spiral Heat Ray that Burning Godzilla used. Now, this happened when he went into meltdown mode and couldn't control his atomic breath. And this atomic breath has no real calculations of how hot it is, but it is stated that every single time he uses the infinite Spiral Heat Ray, that it increases immeasurably in power, so its temperature probably increases with it as well. And this infinite, immeasurable, exponential, this beam was so powerful that the mere fact that Destroyer was able to withstand even one of these blasts was just impressive. I mean, any other creature would have died instantly. Space Godzilla would have died, Mecha Godzilla would have died. It's just, Destroyer's an absolute beast for that. But finally, what else about it? Well, it's hot, it's powerful, and so is Godzilla. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, and I do realise that I've probably taken up a large amount of time with this, but I'm going to go. Bye bye. Oh, actually, before I go, just know that I was very tired and I'd just woken up since recording this, so that is why my sentences are not structured properly, and I couldn't be bothered to do a second take because this is a Lizard Boy G video, and it is not worth my time. Anyways, yeah.
Again, you can tell I'm kind of lazy with this video. As for this one, we got Starzilla the Galaxy Kaiju reading off this one. So, Starzilla, just go ahead and read it.
Godzilla 2000 has one of the more unique atomic breaths, having this more fiery look, orange color, and can unleash an explosion that takes place once the beam hits its target. Now, I wasn't able to find the exact temperature his beam might unleash, but we can assume it's around the others' heats, being 900,000 degrees or even hotter. So, it isn't really like the fiery flame, like the thing from the original 1954 film, having this more gun-like take, just being a way to transport the in-pace explosion it has.
I know, it's been like the last 3 people have been other YouTubers. But anyway, we have another one, this one being Cool Godzilla. I gave him GMK Godzilla. I really wanted to do this one, but I didn't want to yap for like a minute and a half. So, he's gonna do it for me.
What's up, everyone? My name's Cool Guy, and today I'm being held against my will. And I'm here to talk about a Godzilla beam, and I have no choice, so let's begin. Godzilla from Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack, or GMK, has one of the more unique atomic breaths, having the type of atomic breath that hypes you up while watching. This atomic breath, unlike Godzilla 2000's atomic breath, goes back to its blue color, and it is just like the 2000's beam. It is more of a way to transfer the blast, except it's way more powerful, creating an entire explosion upon impact, and even at its strongest. Creating a mushroom cloud. There is also the gravitational atomic breath, which is created after Godzilla absorbs King Ghidorah's power.
Okay, your favorite YouTuber's back. So, here Godzilla's atomic breath is more of the same of Godzilla 2000's, except it's blue and doesn't give a fiery effect as 2000 did. The atomic breath also doesn't really have any amazing feats to make it stand out, besides wiping out the JSDF defense line. Yeah, that's basically just it about him. We're back with another cameo. This one is going to be going by the Gorosaurus dude. I'm not going to fix that. It's his problem. Me and him have another video coming up soon. Not on my channel, on his channel. But, you know, he's going to read this one off.
Godzilla Final Wars. Atomic breath is one of the strongest out of them all, capable of killing them with the single hit at its lowest power. This atomic breath is also more of an impact beam instead of a laser or flame. There's multiple different versions of Godzilla atomic breath, so let's go over them real quick. First is the base one, which is able to kill kaiju pretty easily and is used out throughout the film. Then the second form is the hyperspiral heat ray, which was used to slow down the gore at the end of the movie and has this really cool charge up. Then finally is the burning G-Spark heat ray, which is a mix of normal atomic breath and Kaiser power from Ozawa. Godzilla Final Wars definitely has some of the strongest beams of all the Godzilla franchise.
Oh my god, finally, I'm back. So let's get to it. Shin Godzilla, one of the coolest Godzilla variants of the recent years, which also means he has some of the coolest variants of the beams to date. First is the Super Thermo Radiation Particle Belt Flame. It's a long title, which is the large amount of fire shooting out of his mouth in the movie. And then it has the ability to turn into the Narrow Purple Beam, which is a shorter name, capable of cutting through the cities like butter and leaving a flame-like resolve where the beam hit. Now, there are more beams to Shin Godzilla, but they're not stated to be atomic breath, such as the tail beam and the spine beams, so they're not going to be in the video, and we're going to go straight to Godzilla Earth. Now it is time for the biggest of boys, Godzilla Earth. Godzilla Earth has one of the strongest atomic breaths, capable of destroying kaiju within a single hit and killing them. It has this super cool charge up and unleashes its power through a small focus like thing, where it kind of focuses up like Shin Godzilla's purple beam, except it's blue and it comes out of his mouth. Well, the other one does too, but I was kind of talking about the tail. So it's also more faster, powerful, and again, this one has the more beam and like an extended limb, able to push things back. So it's basically just like the pushing beam. It mostly pushes things, and it can shoot right through you if you're not focused or locked in and senses. Oh my god, this one's the longest. Okay. For Legendary Goji, we're going to be over each beam from Godzilla 2014, King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong, and finally Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. First is Goji 2014. This beam has a less focused beam and is more of a fiery like the original 1954 one, but it's also able to act as a forcing push, which is like the one where it shoots and it pushes things. It's like a force. It's like a hand or something. Anyway. And it's also less of a flame, despite having a flame-like look. So, next is King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong. I put these two together because they're basically the exact same name, except Godzilla vs. Kong is more thicker and focused. And when I mean focused, I mean it isn't sprawling all over the place. These two beams have a more force-like power. Instead of being a flame, it has shown that it can burn things, but it's not a flame. It's more of just a little beam that pushes things, and also results to energy shown when it hits Kong's axe and eventually puts energy into it. Finally is Godzilla x Kong's beam, which is basically the last one but pink. It also has more power and a force to it, and is shown that it can use it more than the other ones. It also has a second supercharged form where Godzilla was fighting Scar King, and it's just a more powerful version, and it makes him look cool, so can't really disagree with that. Ultima Godzilla, one of the strongest Godzillas to date. Ultima's beam has an even more focused look, being formed by these little blue rings, and then form a sharp blue beam in front of Godzilla's face. And this is basically really This is basically a really hot and sharp laser instead of a beam. It doesn't really matter. Now it is time for the final Godzilla of the video, Godzilla -1. Godzilla -1's atomic breath takes inspiration from GMK, with the target of what the atomic breath hits, creating a mushroom cloud upon impact. Not only that, but it also has a lot of radiation stored within it, and it's also more of like a bomb instead. With Godzilla -1, charging up his beam is basically different from all the others, whereas like little dorsals kind of like shoot out, but they don't shoot out of his body, they kind of just stick out, and then you stick back in when the beam is ready to shoot. So, yeah, he's really unique, he has really cool abilities, and sadly, now it's time for the end of the video. So, yeah. Oh my god. This video actually took forever, I'm not even joking. For most of my latest videos, I just grinded them out on Thursdays, but because school is here, it's gotten a lot harder. I currently don't know the length of this video, but I know it's going to be longer than all the others because of CJ and his yapping for 5 minutes. But I also wanted to say thanks to CJ Kaiju Productions, BB Films, Cool Godzilla, Starzilla the Galaxy Kaiju, and the Gorosaurus dude for helping on the video and reading the other Godzillas. I knew if I did them all, I would get too tired to edit this, so thanks to them. If you want to watch their content, their channels are in the link in the description. I don't really recommend it because my content is the best. That's a joke, I'm sorry. Also, thanks to Kaiju King for working on this week's thumbnail, and as always, it looks amazing. The video actually took a little while to make. It's more of a personal project for me, and that's why I kind of delayed it by a day or two. I don't know when I'm uploading this. Anyway, as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.